Welcome to another Earth Engine tutorial. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build on Earth Engine interactive app for creating Landsat time lapse. Before we get into the details how to build the app, I would like to show you the final results. So this is something that we can expect at the end of this tutorial. So it's pretty simple and straightforward. Basically, at the end, you will have a link, an URL that you can send to anyone that they can just directly open. They don't have to have a Google's Engine account. They can still visualize a map. And so in here, they can, for example, this is the final animation you're going to get. But it can be anywhere on the Earth surface. It doesn't have to be in Las Vegas. And you can change different band combinations, and you can also select start year and end year, and how the speed of the animation, how many frames per second you want to use. You can also change the font size, also the color. Yeah, everything is automatic, so you don't need to write any line of code. You can get this done within 10 to 20 minutes. So if you enjoy this video, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe to my channel. You can also leave comments down below. Now let's get started. So in order to follow this tutorial, you need to install the Gmap Python package. If you have not done this before, you can follow my previous tutorial, or you can go to the installation section to install the package. I highly recommend that you use Honda to install the package, and I also recommend that you also use to install the Jupyter Notebook extensions. So that's pretty helpful. I'm going to show you later. And after that, also make sure that you install the latest one. So latest one is 0.7.9. So make sure you have the latest one. Otherwise, the source code might not work properly, because there's the some new functionality that I just added to this new version. Okay, so after you install the package, then you can go to the examples. You can clone the entire repo, or you can go to the examples. So this one will be number 27. So all you need to do is just click this one, and then you can click the button here, raw, and from there you can just right click and save this one to your computer. So I'm going to save this one to my downloads folder, and it's here, right? So, and then from here you can open your terminal, or you can open your Anaconda prompt to start doing coding. So I already activate this environment. Now all I need to do is just type Jupyter Notebook, and then it's open the browser. From there, I'm going to get into the downloads folder, and then to open this one. This is the Jupyter Notebook that we are going to use. So essentially, at the end, this website you are seeing in here is created from this notebook. So basically, you can convert the notebook into a web page for people to visualize. And earlier I mentioned to you that if you can go back to here, go back to the front page. So I highly recommend that you install the Jupyter Notebook extensions, because if you have the extension later, you can hide the source code. So this is the one here. You can use to hide the source. It's in here, Notebook extensions. Right? You can pick some of those extensions that you like. You can use that to, for example, caps, and you can also hide the extension, or hide some of the codes. So, and there are a couple of steps that you need to follow. And first of all, I'm going to just go through the source code to show you what it looks like. How did I create this kind of a input box or the drop down list, and the slider. Everything you can easily create using Python. So for this one, most of the user interface, those buttons and drop-down list or text box, they were created using the IPy widgets. Okay, so this one is very powerful. You can create those widgets directly within Jupyter Notebook, and then you can use to have user interaction. So first of all, let's just execute the first cell. You can shift enter on your keyboard, execute, and then we can create an interactive map. So next, we are going to create a text box. Let me just execute to show you. So the text box will be like this one, right? You can have a description. Then you will allow the user to enter a title. And then from here, you also have another one. So every widget here is one control. So this is one called IPy widgets. And so the text, this is the library. So under the library, there are a couple of classes that you can create widgets. So this is called text. And then you have the description. You can put a value, right? So by default, you're going to use the title called Landsat timelapse. You can also set the width and the style. So let me just quickly execute this. Okay, so I executed these 3 lines. The first one is this one here, right? Landsat timelapse. And I also have the drop-down list. And from the drop-down list, I have the description. And these are the options that I will allow the user to use. And the value is usually the default options that you want to show in here by default when it's being loaded. So now we have this, right? And this can be a list separated by comma. And these options you can customize. You can choose any whatever you want. But since we are using this one to create Landsat time lapse, so make sure that you need to use these names correctly. Okay. And so this will be the first one. So basically this is one component, the other component. And then we can put this one as one single line. So this is called H box, horizontal box. And then within this one, you have a list, right? So you put the title, this one here, bands, this one here. So now you have one horizontal line. The same thing that you see in here. So this is how this one was created. Okay, so next, let's execute the other two, start year and end year, right? So from here, the start year is called Int Slider. Let me show you here, IPy widgets. So you can just Google IPy widget, and then you should be able to get to here. I can show you a lot of that IPy widget has a lot of a list. For example, numeric, boolean, selection, string, and all kind of this very useful. So if you are interested in more widgets, you can come in here. There are a lot more options. I'm just using just a few of the options. So this is called Int Slider, integer slider. So you can set a minimum. For example, for our Landsat data, with the earliest year is 1984 up to 2019, right? We have the full year. 2020 we don't have the full year yet, so I don't use that one. And the end year, again, we put this one as a horizontal box, so put this together as one single line. So, and then we're going to have another one called the speed, how many frames per second you want to show, right? So by default, it's going to use 10. Let me just show you exactly in here, right? So frames per second, default value is 10. That means within 1 second, you want to show 10 images, 10 frames. So 10 images. If you want 1 image per second, then you want to change this one to 1, right? The higher the value, the faster the transition. So 10 is usually a good number. If you change to 30, that means within 1 second you want to show 30 images, 30 years, because for the time lapse we only use basically annual image, 1 year 1 image. So if it's 30 years, then you only 1 second, so it might be too fast. Another one is here, the checkbox allow you to upload the animation to imager.com, because after that, if we put this one on the web, you cannot really download the image. Okay, so but you can, I did some coding behind the scenes, so you can just check this one and then you will upload to imager.com, and later here is going to show you a link, and that link you can just click and then you can download image. Because the idea here is that once you create the animation, you might want to share this one with your friends or your family, or you can share this one on social media. So you need to be able to download this imagery to your computer so that you can utilize that. Okay, so this is how you can see, you can check uncheck. And lastly, we want to have this one change the font size. Okay, so this is again also integer slider, and the next two are so-called color picker. So this is what it looks like. So by default, it's the size is 30. You can change to whatever number, and this you can customize. Okay, if you change the number, it will automatically change this one if you execute again. And the color picker in here, you can type in any like regular color, or you can select from here the color picker here to change the color. So this is what in here, the font color and progress bar color is this one here. So the font color here is white, right? So all the labels are white color, and this is what the progress bar color, right, is blue. So this is how you can control, you can customize. And lastly, this will be the submit button. So let me show you. Besides the submit button, we also have another widget called output widget. This one is very important because when the user click this one, it's going to show the output in here. But when the user select another region, when it clicks again, it's going to clear out the output and show the other one. Okay, so the output widget here is very useful because every time, let me just execute first in here. And so this is a button, but the button, we need to be able to respond to the user interaction, because when user click the button, it need to execute something. So this is how the function behind the scene is executed. So this is the button, and the button has a on click function. The on click, when the user click, is going to invoke this function. So this function is in here. So this is the key how the Landsat time lapse is being created, because it execute the code behind. And what does this one is doing? Basically, we have an output widget, right? Let me execute this one first. Execute, and then submit output. So if you see from here, the output widget right now, it has nothing. There's nothing in here, right? And the button, this one, if I hit click, it's going to execute the source code behind. So and the output here, the output widget, so when it's at click, it's going to clear the output first, and then you're going to check this condition, make sure that you have the end year is greater than the start year. So if the start year is greater than the end year, it won't proceed. You ask you to change the year. So we make sure that, because animation we're doing from start year to the end year, so make sure that the end year greater than the start year. And then it's going to call this function add Landsat time series animation. So these are all the functions that you can pass in, and make sure that you understand what this one is doing. So in here, the ROI is that when the user draw any ROI on the map, it becomes an ROI. So let me once again show you in this example. Here I can click, and then I can draw this one here on the map. Okay, so now I create user ROI. So this right now is an Earth engine object. Let me scroll down, and then the label. So the label comes from the title value. Essentially, every IPy widget here has a property called value, and grab the value from this one. So the title, where is the title? The title is here, this variable. So the title is this one, it's going to grab the value of this one. So that's why let me change this one. So for example, open gross in Las Vegas, right? So if I change this value, and later if I call this value, call this one, I can show it in here. So it will be title dot value, and if I execute, you will see you automatically grab the value. So this is like all interactive, and anything you change, it's going to grab the value. So similarly in here, for example, font size, you need to double check what's the variable name. So it's called, this is the widget, right? You can call the font size dot value. It's going to grab this one. So if I see this one right now change to maybe 38, and I can come back to here at the end, font size dot value 38, right? So anything if I change right now in here, and if I execute this line again, it's going to update the value. So it's very, very nice that everything here is interactive. So whenever the user click this button, it's going to grab the value. So these are the settings that user can customize. The title, the start year, the end year, everything is just called the value. But in here, the start date, I just use from May to October. So every year we're going to create one image, and that image is based on the all the available Landsat data between May and October. So that you can use for the full year from January to December, but there's a lot of data, so it might be a little bit slow. But in the examples in here, I'm just using May and October. And so this one is the bands, like I use the split. You will see here, split into a list to be red, comma, green, and comma, and blue, because this is what you are supposed to use when you use the function. So if you need more information, you can put your cursor within the parenthesis and then hit Shift tab on your keyboard. Then you should be able to see in here what you need to pass in, right? So this needs to pass into the list, and that's why we use the split function and control all of this. So basically, right now we use those widgets to provide options for the users to select and then execute this line. So lastly, for example, the upload value, right? So upload the value, because the upload widget in here right now is unchecked. So if I just type upload value, if it is unchecked, that means it's false, right? Come back to here, check this one, it will become true. Now it's true, right? So this is how you can customize everything. And lastly, let me just hide all the code inputs. This is exactly very similar to what you see in the final product, but it's not being deployed to Roku yet. Let me execute this one just to show you. Let's do the start year and end year, but I can change this one if you want. So I change to 1990, for example. 2010 frames per second, whether or not I want to upload to image.com. Then the font size I can change to 30. Similarly, everything here I can change. For example, font color, I want to be white color. Progress bar color, I use the default blue. Now let's execute this one. Before I do that, let me delete all the cells in here. Yes, but you need to make sure that you keep this one. Okay, the output widget, and let me hide this. So everything is now set up correctly. So I have the user RY, I have all the settings in here. Now all I need to do is just hit submit, and then it's going to execute the map.add Landsat time series. This is the link. It's going to automatically download the link. Okay, now it's done. You will see in here, this one has been added to the map, right? So the white color might not be a good choice because it's kind of the same color with the background and customize the color. So, and because we check the upload to image.com, here it's being uploaded, and click this link. So this is the link that you can use to share with anyone, or you can download the image from here. Okay, so I click this one, doesn't open. Very weird, but you right click and then open in incognito window, it's open. So see this one here. Okay. If you want to download the animation, you just right click, save image as, and then I can download this one to my computer. See from here. Now I have this one. Then you can use this one to share on media. Similarly, I can create another one. So for example, let me zoom to maybe 2. How about this? Kind of reverse, and visual another one. Again, change the ear. I can this one. I can change, for example, this okay, river dynamics, and I can change the band combination. How about this one? Short wave infrared 1 and near infrared and red color, and I can also upload if we want, and everything. And keep the default settings. Then just hit submit. Look. Usually it should be within 1 minute, because it's going to every year it's going to create one image. Lot of images that being used to create one image. Then combine all the years together. Okay, now we have it. So if you see from here, this one, because there are some like tile, and then you see the artifacts in. You see the animation for the waters, quite amazing, right? This is how river changes from, especially in this kind of area, small rivers change from year to year. Without this kind of a time lapse, if you're on the ground, it's very difficult to actually to visualize like changes. But this is 35 years data that you can quickly create and visualize using so that's pretty much about the Jupyter notebook. But right now this one is running on my local computer. So the last step is to deploy to Heroku. You can check my previous tutorial how to deploy the app, but I'm going to show you. So you only need to just click the link, and once you go to this repo, you can clone the repo. So everything in here shows you the steps how to deploy this app to Heroku. And if you see from this one here, notebooks, I have a couple of notebooks in here. So this is the one actually we are using. And if I make any changes, I just need to push the changes to this repo, and it will automatically be deployed Heroku apps. If you click this thing here, upper right corner, this is actually the app, like all the notebooks within the within the notebooks folder. Basically, it's a website. And then within the website, you have multiple notebooks. It's the same notebook that we are using, but right now, those notebooks are being converted into a website. So take this one. You will see here executing because we have 20 code blocks in here, and it's going to execute one by one. So see from here, right? 18, 19, 20, we have 20. The notebook, the voila is basically executing the source code and collecting all the outputs and then convert it to web page. And right now you see here, right now this is kind of an URL. Everything remain interactive. Similarly, I can do the same thing for a rectangle, and then I can customize these settings this time. And all I need to do is submit. It will go through the same process that I just showed you earlier. Okay, so that's all for this tutorial. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the button and subscribe to my channel. You can also leave comments down below. Hope to see you in my next video. Yeah, bye bye.